spent 2 Brussels sprouts, so we've got this one bag
I have to get
that
more
looks
Brussels.
like a scrotum because it's just got 2 Brussels sprouts. I can't wait for that dinner.
Hello, I'm Jamie.
I'm Shannon.
Welcome to episode 2 of MarriedWithTV.com.
Today we're going to talk about Black Lightning again.
Glow. We're going to talk about Glow.
Glow, Season 2. Love that show as well, and anything else that comes into our heads as we talk, as we don't ever digress or get off the subject, ever. It's 95 degrees
I know.
at almost midnight.
I know. It was 114 when I looked in the middle
It got
of the
up to 114. See, I saw it as 110, and it was like 10:30.
114 with a real feel of 117 when I walked to Vaughn's and almost passed out just from that.
Who's real feeling that? Oh, you walked. That's right. You walked to the store at that.
It was torture.
When it's in the 110s or 110 or anything even really above 100, it's like, to me, it felt like it had physical weight. It was like pushing down on me.
I could feel it burning my legs.
Deep heat, and it feels like it has weight. It just feels like it's like, you know. But it was so hot today that it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You walk outside and like for a minute, and it's just, you want to die. It's hard to get started because it's so quiet when we first start. Like, just got done watching 2 episodes of Black Lightning, episode 2 and episode 3. Episode 1 was kind of weird and parts of it didn't make sense to me, but...
Yeah, I was about ready to give up on episode 1 until they showed the older daughter having power. And then when we looked her up on IMDb, I guess her superhero name is Thunder, so she is a character.
If you look at IMDb and they have a slash, that means they have another name, so that means they have a superhero name. So we're like, cool. I think that's one of the more interesting parts of Black Lightning, is just watching her develop. The next 2 episodes are way better and kind of won me over.
It didn't get better for me until the 3rd episode. I was getting a little angry because there was too much exposition. That's all. There's too much building up but not showing anything cool.
Black Lightning's developed for TV by a producer, Salem Akel, and one of the things that she said was, we're not going to go with the villain of the week format because we're going to focus more on character development, and we're seeing that a lot.
And all the Marvel TV shows, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones.
It seems like that's been
Daredevil.
kind of a mantra for a long time. I remember when Joss Whedon was saying that about Buffy. It's like, we don't want to do the monster of the week thing, you know.
But they did.
Like, they did do, for a long time.
They did it, but they always had an end of season villain. But,
they had an arc, right?
Yeah, but it was built in. They always had a villain of the week. This one, it's the same villains. It's just building them up and up. And
the first it was Lala, who was the local leader of the 100, you know, who kind of ran the club and everything like that. And then
he's dead now.
His boss killed him, who is Tobias Whale, who's played by Marvin, quote, Crondon Jones the Third, I think, or second.
It's his rapper name, right?
Crondon. He's hasn't been in much. The only thing that anybody might have heard of, or at least we might have heard of, is he was in a TV show called Harry's Law with Kathy Bates.
I've never heard of
that.
But
mostly he's a rapper. But he is just scary looking.
He's really good. He plays his part well.
And he has good quotes and stuff like that. And now in the 3rd episode, we learn he has an even bigger boss.
Yeah.
Who is this Lady Eve.
Yeah.
Who's a powerful black woman with excessive cleavage powers. That alone is a superpower.
She seems scary as fuck, though.
She's scary, but she's scary in almost like that creepy Southern Belle kind of way, where they're really polite. But they'll kill you.
She scared
Tobias Whale.
Yeah, Tobias. Yeah. She scared him, and that made me like really scared of her.
Yeah, I like her. I hope they go into her more. I can see like a really cool monologuing kind of thing from her. I can't wait till her and Black Lightning kind of square off or get together or whatever and talk to each other.
Yeah, well, I guess we've presumed now that we will continue watching all 2 seasons of Black Lightning unless something goes just
goes terribly wrong.
Yeah.
But these two, I'm actually excited, and I want to know what's going to happen next. And the series kind of won me over in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
But there's some really funny things that happen, like crazy things. One of the things is their younger daughter,
16-year-old
Jennifer,
daughter.
16 years old. She's like,
at the dinner table.
I hope I can have your support. It's like, what do you need support for? Well, I'm ready to start having sex. And then she leaves.
No, she says, no, it's going to happen Saturday.
and it's like, oh my god, that was like the Office level awkwardness that they put in this superhero thing. I'm ready to start having sex.
And then Black
Parents.
Lightning is like, that's some white people shit.
Yeah. Black Lightning says, if I said that to my dad would say that's some white people mess.
Yeah.
And he wanted to say like that's some white people shit, but like I tell you, white people just ignore that whole thing.
Yeah.
They would never have that at least nobody I know would have that conversation. Like, wow, that was just so. And she said, well, it's going to be Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's going to be with this guy. And both Black Lightning and his ex-wife, the mom and dad, are like they just both take a drink of their wine. It's like those commercials. It's like, need a moment. Have a Twix.
Yeah.
It's like they both just like froze up. Like, what do you say to that?
Put something in my mouth so I can't tell you what I really want to.
Or just no idea what to say to them.
They were not happy. And then Black Lightning scares the fuck out of him.
Has the sort of intimidating dad talk.
Yeah, it was kind of gross too.
It was easy. Okay, he's like, how do you shower? You're in a locker room full of strange people, and then you're washing your athlete's foot, your fungus feet, and then washing your other bits, and then you're going to touch my daughter with those. Like, what a way to approach that. And
he's the principal of the school, though, too.
Yeah, father of the kid who his daughter just announced that's who she's having sex with on Saturday for the first time. It's like, wow, okay.
So that happened. That was an interesting moment. But then they're having a protest for the woman that got killed in the second episode.
In episode 2, a woman whose daughter is being prostituted out in this hotel by the 100 gang comes up to Lala and just stands up to him basically, and then Lala is just not in any kind of mood for any of that, so he just shoots her offhand. He just got done or was about to shoot his own cousin, who was the kid who in the first episode threatened his Black Lightning's daughters in the school with a gun. He was the one who, I guess it was Jennifer who went into that room with him in the beginning.
The whole thing, that's why we didn't like it at first, is
that whole thing was like rushed and kind of didn't really take its time to develop any of the big stuff that it was doing. But then there was a decent Black Lightning fight, and I like Black Lightning's powers. He's got
but at the rally that they are going to, that's right. For that.
So now they're having a march in her honor because she was killed by Lala, who was then killed by Tobias Whale later for just basic incompetence and causing all this trouble and not taking care of Black Lightning and stuff like that.
Tobias has a female right hand person too.
Sort of like an assassin.
Yeah,
lady.
Is that what she is? Yeah.
That's what she seems like.
So they're there at this rally
with death in her eyes.
Black Lightning goes to his bat cave with
Raiden.
Yeah.
Raiden from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. He'll always be Raiden to me.
His Alfred, basically.
Yeah. And Alfred just, for some reason or other that I don't know if they explain it and I missed it, but he just has all this super duper Tony Stark level technology.
His name is Peter.
Yeah, Peter Gamby.
Yes.
James Remar. Raiden.
Yeah.
Poor man's Raiden because my man Christopher.
But in the show, he's His Alfred's name is Peter.
Yeah, his Alfred is Peter. So he has all this cool technology, holograms and simulations, and he built Black Lightning's suit to focus his power and all that good. At one point, his wife comes in and confronts Peter. He needs to stop being Black Lightning. She just doesn't want him to be Black Lightning because she doesn't want him to get killed, is the thing. By the end of episode 2, he's definitely, like, he tells his wife, Black Lightning is back, and that's how that ends. And now I'm like pretty okay with that because they're together, you know? There's no conflict there. There's no will they, won't they. It has
she
really
accepts
good,
it. It's fine. Yeah. I'm not worried about that.
She reluctantly accepts it. We don't have to worry about him sneaking around her or any of that stupid stuff. So I'm glad they just kind of got through that. Ripped that Band-Aid off. It's not going to be a thing.
But what I was getting at is at the rally, because, you know, he worked with Peter to soup up his suit, and, you know, he had the hologram of the city where he was going to be fighting, and then when he gets there, he protects everybody with these, like, force field of lightning.
He has a lightning bulletproof force field, and the guy's shooting at him with an MP5,
runs out of
fully
bullets.
auto 9mm.
Somehow runs out of bullets.
And shoots all his bullets at it, and it just bounces off that. So that's an awesome power. I think Black Lightning has some cool powers. He's also kind of really strong and kind of invulnerable because he can jump out of a tall building and land on a car and
gets
destroy
hurt,
it.
though. We learned that in the first episode. That's why she wanted him to not be Black Lightning, because he is not invincible.
Yeah, he's not invincible,
it hurts him every time he does it.
He's got some powers, and it also tires him out. Like, it harms him every time he uses a bunch of his electric powers. So there's the bill comes due. A lot of times we'll compare Black Lightning to Luke Cage, and I was thinking about that, and it's like, well, is it just because, you know, it's a superhero TV show and he's black and they're both black, and is that why I'm comparing them? And I'm
comparing them because it's Marvel versus DC. Just plain and simple. That it has nothing to do with ethnicity.
It has a lot to do with that. To me, like, if they made a TV show about Cyborg, who's also very black, I would not be comparing that to Luke Cage.
No, you're right.
They're
in Harlem versus...
One's in Harlem, one's in Freeland, which is sort of the Harlem. Freeland. Harlem's probably the most famous, like, black part of town in America, right? It's Harlem.
In New York, anyway.
Yeah. And so Freeland is kind of the Harlem of DC. And DC, again, it has these, like, fictional places, but they're not super clearly defined either. DC writers...
It could be Chicago.
I always thought that Gotham was like Chicago or something, but no. The DC writers even said, I can't remember where I heard this, but they're like, Gotham is Metropolis at night.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's not even really a different place. It's just a different point of view of that place.
It is pretty much always night in Gotham, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. Yep. Gotham is Metropolis at night. There's other connections too. Like, one of the main writers of Black Lightning for DC Comics is named Trevor Von Aden, and he also is a main writer on Power Man comics. Power Man and Iron Fist. Power Man is Luke Cage in Marvel Comics. So they kind of share writing. One thing also, when I was just looking up the actors, Chris Williams, the guy who plays Black Lightning, one of his first movie credits is the Doom Generation.
I wonder how much he's actually in that, though.
Doom Generation is a messed up movie.
I don't even want to remember those movies.
It's funny, like, every time they go to the store and buy anything, it's 666 is the amount. Okay.
I don't remember him in that movie, is my point. He could have just been in it for like a second. I wouldn't know. And I'm not going to rewatch it ever.
One thing that makes me like a show or not is it has memorable quotes and memorable moments.
Yeah, that's right.
And Black Lightning had a few of those. Tobias Whale, at one point, he says, always singing and praying. They all want to go to heaven, but none of them want to die.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, that's some pretty good quotes there.
That was a good quote.
You know, there's lots of stuff like that. One of the things they say about the woman who stood up to Lala and then she got shot was, yet she persisted, which is what somebody said about Elizabeth Warren when she was told in Congress to stop stopped talking, so that became like a hashtag, Yet she persisted. There's a lot of social commentary in Black Lightning, but it's not shoved down your throat. It's very subtle. The other thing that was awesome and got more awesome in episode 3 was the older sister. Anissa. She broke this bathroom sink in the beginning,
then she threw a dude in a convenience store,
And this is how superheroes learn they have powers in comic books: is they're in a convenience store and it gets robbed. That's like almost like a trope.
Yeah, usually, or somebody's getting mugged and they step in, or
somebody's around you is getting mugged. A convenience store gets robbed. How many times have you been in a convenience store that's gotten robbed in your whole life?
I've been in one.
You serious?
Yeah.
What happened?
It was the Cambodian market on, I want to say, Pacific in College.
So in Lacey, Washington?
And I had to tell the people the word for money because the robbers were white and they didn't.
So you spoke a little bit of Cambodian.
Yes.
And you knew the word for money. What's the word for money?
Louis.
What?
Louis? Yeah, with an accent. You're not saying it right, and I don't want to.
There's no way I can say right words. To me, it just sounds like Louis.
Yeah, no.
But it's not. It's like Louis. I can't even say the
please don't make me
letter.
say things in Cambodian.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Once in my life.
So okay, wait a minute. Let's go back. I did not know this. I've been with you. When did this happen?
I don't know, 1991 maybe.
So before we met.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in a Cambodian.
I was buying ramen.
Store. You're buying ramen noodles, right? Okay.
Special ramen noodles.
Like one of those like specialty Asian markets.
Yes.
And so you're in there.
I don't know the name of it. I have to look it up in the newspaper.
So okay, people come in how many?
2.
So 2 robbers come into the store. They armed.
Young men, maybe 18 to 20.
So do they have a mask or anything? Yeah. So they had masks, like you got the full experience. So robbers with masks. Did they have guns? Did one of them have a gun?
Yes. One had a gun, just a handgun, not a shotgun.
So you were at the counter. Mm-hmm. Probably buying your ramen, and then these robbers come in, and they're like, "Give me all your money," right?
Yes. Basically, give me your money. And they
didn't understand.
Were freaking out. I don't know. They've never been robbed before. They should understand with a gun, but
yeah. What do they think they want?
They were saying they wanted money from a cash register and any money they had on them too, like. Give your everything, So I'm just like, just give them your money.
So you said, you'd like, Louis,
no,
you gotta go.
Stop saying it. No. I said other words too, and I'm not going to. I did the best I could.
So you kind of held. And then, that is a good story.
Then the police came and they filed a report, and
so they gave them all their Louis. And then I'm going to keep saying it just as I know it makes you mad. I'm sorry.
If Cambodian people are watching or listening, they're going to be really offended.
There's no way I can do it without. I'd have to practice a lot and learn how to just even say those.
Yeah, I can't even say English words right, so don't make me do that, please.
You can say it, and it sounds to me but you almost have to be a baby and learn it. Because babies can understand sounds.
It's hard. I don't hear well enough. I can understand everything.
Once that part of your brain is finished developing, then you're kind of set in what vowels and consonants you really can learn.
Okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Anyway, no, man, I want the rest of this podcast to be about that robbery. You were in a convenience store robbery for real.
Anyway, it didn't even seem like that big a deal. I didn't feel scared really, or I was just hurry up and give them your money, so I can get my ramen.
Total psychos and just wanted to shoot everybody, so there's no witnesses for. Oh my God, you were in an actual convenience store robbery. So you didn't have superpowers. You couldn't.
My superpower was I could translate enough.
You knew a couple of Cambodian words. That was your superpower. So we have a real life story where someone with an unusual ability for a girl in Lacey, Washington. Yeah. Wow. So okay, I guess I was wrong. Some people actually do see robberies.
I've been in LA all the time.
Yeah, I was on jury duty, and there was a taco. The whole thing was a taco stand robbery, and it was on camera, and so there wasn't a whole lot of question about who did it because they were right there on camera. But the camera, the image wasn't that good, so it could have been someone who looked kind of like that with kind of the same tattoos. Pretty obvious who it was.
Taco truck robbery.
But that's one of the things I noticed too, was that the whole thing, because there wasn't any sound, so we're watching the video of this robbery, and he had a shotgun, and it just looked like people standing around talking. Like, everybody was pretty calm.
Like, he told them, I was totally calm. The people weren't, the Cambodian people that own the store
They were probably very scared.
They were scared.
Yeah,
and they had no idea what these people were saying.
Especially if they're immigrants who just came from, Cambodia, which wasn't a very fun place.
But, I did not know how to say calm down. I wish I knew how to say that. I just had to say, just give them all your money. You'll get it back. Just don't worry about it.
Right.
Take it.
Like, it's okay. We'll go through this kind of thing. But at least you knew that much so that they could get that over with.
Yeah, that was
fast.
lucky.
Wow. So a real life superhero today on our podcast. you might have saved their lives.
I don't know. Who knows if they even had bullets in the gun.
Well, thankfully nobody had to find out.
We didn't find out,
that's good. Yeah.
They didn't share anything.
Right on. I don't even know what else to talk about, man. That beats anything else we've got.
We could talk about something funnier that happened with kids at your school who tried to commit a robbery.
Oh my God. Okay, so I went to high school in Yelm, Washington, which...
People may know your town because, like, Linda Evans and Yanni.
Ramtha is in Yelm, Washington.
Daisy Knight.
Kind of put it on the map in a lot of ways.
People might know.
Yelm, that county has the most mysterious animal mutilations that people think of aliens do.
Probably meth labs.
Thurston County had, I think, one of the highest levels of cocaine trafficking up and down even the West Coast. Like even definitely in the Pacific Northwest, but like it was a huge hub for that kind of thing. But I grew up, I wasn't exposed to any of that. I was sheltered from all of that, right? Anyway, these really smart high school students who were star athletes at Yelm High School, they decided to rob a bank, and they got the money and they got away. They robbed the bank successfully, but they were wearing their Letterman's jackets. But you know what? They thought, well, that'd be stupid to wear a Letterman jacket so they could identify us. So they took the Y from Yelm and ripped it off their Letterman's jackets so that people wouldn't realize that these obvious, our school colors, red and black Letterman jackets with a visible light spot shaped like a Y, where a Y was obviously ripped off.
They were on some of that cocaine when they did that.
Somehow, I doubt it. I doubt it. I think PBR is more like their drug of choice, I would imagine. Oly stubbies.
Let's rip our Ys off and we'll... But no, they did, and immediately got caught because
they just. But what's funny is they got the money and they got away. If they just would have worn different coats, it could have been an unsolved. I mean, they were wearing masks and stuff, but wow, how dumb do you have to be to wear your Letterman jacket? It was a story that my teachers told.
Yeah. Oh, and I remember when it happened. My mom told me, and I saw the newspaper article, and I was pretty young, so.
That was like one of those almost like Darwin Award dumbest guy of the week kind of things. That was one of those times when it wasn't in Florida.
Why we wear our Letterman jacket? We were talking about how she stopped a robbery or in a convenience store.
So she stops a robbery in a convenience store, and that's part of how she realizes she really does have powers because she has super strength.
And she was testing it. She was like, well, let me see if I can. She ran towards the guy. The guy didn't run towards her. Right.
And that's, wow. She could have been shot easily. Yeah. But then she goes to a junkyard and tests out her powers. And that's what I would do. That's what the cheerleader does in Heroes.
Yeah, no, she gets hit by trains and
she goes to a junkyard and jumps off things. And so going to so stopping a convenience store shooting, and then also going to a junkyard and test out powers. But she. So did you go to a junkyard?
No.
And test out your skills? Okay.
And I go to the Cambodian junkyard.
So 1 out of 2 for you. Wow, I'm still tripping out about that. She pushes this big giant pile of junk, and then an engine block from like at least 30 feet up falls down, hits her in the back. Like, if an engine block fell from 1 foot onto your back, it would crush you. Those things are so heavy. But, so when that fell on her back and just bounced off, I'm like, wow, she is pretty super. I mean, that's like...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to...
a punch would do nothing to her if that happens.
Her fighting... I bet her and Black Lightning are going to be fighting the same crime, and then they'll realize they're each other.
So she's Thunder. And okay, Black Lightning didn't completely win me over until the 3rd episode either. Like, the 2nd episode, it was funny because... the end, he goes in there, zaps all the guards, and it's really awesome, and he's about ready to just, like, zap Law at it. And then the police come, and so he...
runs away.
Everything he did was pointless. Sometimes it's better not to do that when you're a superhero. The police were there. They knew where he was. They had all the evidence they needed to put him away. And they arrived, and they got him, and they had him. So Black Lightning's presence there was not needed at all. Completely superfluous. And that reminds me of The Incredibles 2, when they fight the Underminer. And it's like, the guys are like, we have insurance for that. There's infrastructure in place to deal with this stuff. And they're like, you wanted us to do nothing? Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So
that's exactly what we wanted. They've been starting to mention the cost. Like, in Hancock, they did. That was the whole thing. Remember, like, the Will Smith when...
Like, how much damage he does
did was not
fighting
worth...
us. And it's like, it's the same thing with, like, rules about car chases. Like, cops are, a lot of times, instructed to not do a high-speed chase. Don't, if somebody's running down the freeway, don't do a high-speed chase. All you got to do is you have their license number, wait till they're parked someplace, and just get them easily, right? Walk down. And,
probably depends on the exact conditions, but
but
it's like, more dangerous to be,
it does
driving
more
down
harm
a freeway.
than good.
Anyway, let's wrap up Black Lightning. We'll watch a few more episodes.
But the assassin lady with death in her eye, she
kills the lead of the march.
He says kill Black Lightning, so she has this rifle and this scope, and she's an assassin, and she's not even probably 30 yards away, if that, and she misses Black Lightning. She either misses Black Lightning on purpose, or that wasn't who she's aiming at. But he said kill that lightning freak, or whatever it was.
He specifically said to kill Black Lightning.
She ordered him to kill Black Lightning, but she ended up shooting the preacher.
Yeah,
and I think the bullet went through the preacher and shot
the girl,
the boyfriend.
Oh, the boyfriend. That's right.
That she was going to have sex with on Saturday.
Yeah,
so phew! Wow, that put a not on Saturday. Not on Saturday. He might never walk again, I guess. So. Yeah. So I guess Black Lightning doesn't have to deal with that family crisis. Okay, that was Black Lightning. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going with Black Lightning. So good job, Salem Ackle, for producing and developing.
Is he the creator of the show?
And she is the...
She is?
Yes. And
I have a feeling you're not saying her name right.
Ackle, Akil.
I don't know.
Okay.
We can look it up.
Anyway, and it's good to see more female producers and people who are developing these shows, directors and producers. We're seeing a lot more of that now, so that's a good thing. We're talking about Black Lightning. Okay, that's it for Black Lightning. We'll keep watching it. Hey, we're shopping for groceries online now. This is what we've become.
It is a pain in the butt to drive to grocery stores in LA. Like, that's what I miss about Washington is you go to Safeway, there's 8 million spots, and everybody tries to get up front, so you just park in the back, walk up there. Here, you literally are fighting for parking spots.
Okay, something I noticed in California, and I don't know if it's a California thing or Southern California thing or a new thing, but when we lived in Olympia, Washington, 8 years ago?
10?
Or so, yeah, something like that.
Over 10.
No.
It was 2010, 8 years. Yes.
Yeah, like 8 years.
You're right.
I don't remember the big deal about putting those little separators on the grocery conveyor belt.
Yeah, the conveyor belt.
Like, now, you gotta put that thing on there. Like, you're being rude if you don't put that thing on there. But that was just not even a thing.
No.
Before. It's like a
separate your food!
It's like a new thing to me. Like, they could tell whose thing was what. It wasn't this big mystery, But now, you just always gotta... And like, you're just waiting. If the separator doesn't come in time and somebody's waiting to put their stuff down, they'll keep their stuff and not put it down.
They'll put it on the part that doesn't move, like the very edge.
Right. Or they'll just hold their stuff. Like, carry their heavy stuff rather than put it on the damn thing. because there's not a
We
magic.
might buy it instead of them.
like that's like a magic line that's gonna save their stuff.
It's
like
weird.
they can just put it down, and it's stressful when it doesn't come out. Like I want to get So this is why we're buying.
We're gonna try it.
We're gonna try buying groceries online now. I'm waiting. You know what else is a pain is when I'm sleeping and I have to go to the bathroom. So it means I got to get all the way up out of bed, go to the bathroom, and I just if there was just an app on your phone that could. We should talk about Kevin Smith because we've been going to his Fat Man on Batman podcast
over a
for
year.
how long now? Over a year.
Yeah.
Like
April last year.
At least once a month.
We started, I think.
We skipped months.
No, we've skipped a couple episodes. He does it almost every week sometimes. Like, if he's on tour or not filming something, him and Mark try to do it. Mark Bernardin, who is, like, the perfect counterpoint to Kevin's positivity.
You look up Fat Man on Batman on even, like, YouTube, you can watch those podcasts. And we're on them, especially Jamie, who's now known as Cat Ears.
Yes.
Because she wears Cat Ears headphones to that. But there's a kind of a reoccurring theme with people asking questions, and a lot of times they'll say, you know what, I'm a filmmaker now because of you, or I started my podcast because of you, because you inspired me. Like, so now we're one of those people, because we kind of started ours because...
Thank you, Kevin Smith.
Yeah. But he totally knows you as Cat Ears and recognizes you and talks to you, and, so that's really cool. It's like we live close to here, so we get to have this kind of these connections. And speaking of which, Jamie is executive producing a movie. Called Preacher 6.
Yes. It's in post-production right now. Hopefully it comes out. I don't know when they're going to start the festival circuit, but it'll either come out 2019 or 2020. Probably 2019, I'm hoping. Check out the trailer on YouTube. It's Preacher 6 SIX.
Yeah, Preacher SIX. You saw that, right? Before you...
Oh, yeah.
I'm in. Take my money.
He told me how much money he spent on that trailer, and for the amount it was so small for this CGI that was done. It was like... Really brilliant shots, and the way the art and the style and everything is, and the action, it just looks like... Grady Earls is the director, and he has an amazing eye. Just amazing. Peter Bernick. Eileen Gruba, who's in tons of TV shows, but most recently, and they were recently in a movie that's on Netflix called Singularity. Oh, okay. Both of those people. And Zach Galligan from Gremlins, who is also in Jason Mewes' movie that will be out this year, and he plays Kevin Smith's lawyer. So we have 1 degree of separation from our movie. 0 degrees from our movie to Kevin Smith. He plays Kevin Smith's lawyer in Jason Mewes' new movie. What's that movie called? I can't. A Method to My Madness. A Method to My Madness. Where he tries to be a method actor, I think is the storyline. And this Tuesday, we're bringing the director, one of the stars, and the writer of Preacher 6 to Kevin Smith's podcast at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. So, all right. Hopefully, we definitely got enough stuff together. We went deep into Black Lightning. Black Lightning. And what's funny is I was planning on Black Lightning, go Black Lightning, Grease Lightning. Okay. I did do some research, and there is a movie called Black Lightning about a hot rod car that could fight Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning. It's funny because when I was thinking about this episode 2 of our podcast, I thought, well, we're probably going to we feel obligated to watch one more episode because we promised. And we ended up watching 2 episodes and spending like 37 minutes talking about Black Lightning. I thought we were just going to kind of give it a little bit of lip service and just be kind of done with it and then start talking about Cloak and Dagger, which we never even got into at all. Like, next episode, I'd like to talk about Cloak and Dagger and Lucifer, especially since Lucifer's coming back. Yes! William Shatner got his wish, and the first season's a little more serious and more comic related than the other seasons, but the other seasons have so much humor, but they also... Right. We'll talk about it. He also does lots of drugs, and there's all kinds of sex and stuff in it. He's have sex with anybody. It's alluded to. Oh, yes, he's as pansexual as it gets. He wants to go undercover in one episode So, well, we need to find somebody to, hit on this guy. And he's, oh, that's me. But the guy's straight. Oh, well, I've flipped more.
I've flipped so many guys.
I've flipped so many men.
They call me the skillet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucifer will really do anyone who's attractive.
Yeah. His sexual moves are awesome.
I call that move Gentleman Start Your Engines. What is Gentleman Start Your Engines? I want to know what that is.
Glow is just, the characters are so blatantly racist. Stereotypical, the black lead wrestler who has a crown is named the welfare queen.
And the lady who is Indian, I believe, she's actually from India or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And they make her like
Beirut. Her name is Beirut.
And she's like a terrorist.
Yeah.
And so every single person is just an offensive stereotype of whatever, and that's what kind of makes the show great. Is that we get to look back on that and things that were
we really did that, didn't we?
Things that were acceptable and back then that we just would never do.
Seemed acceptable, but now you look back and go, holy shit, we were a bunch of racists.
So this last episode really comes to terms with it, like the lady who is welfare queen, her son is going to Stanford. I keep wanting to say Princeton. I don't know why.
They're in California. It's
Stanford. So her son finally sees her wrestle as welfare queen, and she gets in that character.
She cries
and
at the end when
it's very sad.
What is the main white Liberty
Bell?
Liberty Bell beats her and takes her crown, and she notices too that welfare queen is crying at the end, and you can tell she's worried about it. And then the Russian Zoya, who is Alison Brie, grabs a kid from the audience and tells the mom it's okay, it's part of the show, and the mom's all cool with it and pretends it's her kid being kidnapped to save
my daughter.
Yeah.
To just take because
it brought the show down.
It brought the show down, and the audience was all sad. But then she did this daughter pretend kidnapping thing to try and bring action back into it. But it was good. It was good.
It was very sexist too. Like when the Liberty Bell character redoes her contract to be producer and more involved in the show, and they just ignore it,
steamroll right over.
Yeah, they give it to her, but don't let her in on any meetings, and just basically,
so it really kind of
means nothing. She has to work, quadruple hard as the guys to be a leader of
to
that.
have any kind of say in anything. And but that Glow from the beginning was kind of just a lot about that, like how the 80s
Did you watch women's wrestling when it was on? Because I did not.
I didn't watch any wrestling.
I watched before it was what it is now. I watched the men's one, at least. I don't know what it is. It WWE now. It used to be WWF, I think.
I don't even
World
know.
Wrestling.
I don't even know.
When Hulk Hogan and stuff was in that, and
I
Andre the Giant, and those guys.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I didn't get into it like people did, but I would recognize
and I remember
those characters.
Like Sting.
Yes, then The Rock, and I didn't watch it during that time.
All that. The only place I watched Roddy Piper was in They Live.
They Live.
And I
came here to do two things:
kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum. They Live was awesome. One of the best movies ever.
In the first season of Glow, it's really cool because Alison Brie's character starts out as, she's at her agent's office, or no, she's at a audition and she's reading the man's part.
Oh, right. Like, that's
she's
great,
like, it was the better part. And
she's like, that's great, but you're like the secretary or something like that.
But her agent tells her, you're not pretty enough for you're too simple. But I have this one thing, and it ends up being the
wrestling.
Gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
And I love the director.
I don't know his name. The character,
kind of a burnt out horror movie director.
He does coke in every episode, pretty much.
Every single episode, and he's always just so jaded, but he's not. He's always reluctantly really nice.
He'll help out,
But he doesn't want to do he literally doesn't want to do anything ever.
Yeah.
But he does.
In this season he comes out and he's wearing that suit and he's all pissed about it. He's like, I've never ironed a shirt. What the hell is ironing a shirt about? he doesn't like working for more than a couple days at once, it seems like. And then he's set in this 5-week schedule, and he's really upset about it.
He's a scoundrel with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Thinks that wants to be an artist.
He's the Han Solo character.
Old and well, okay, so he is the Han
Han
Solo character. He's a Han Solo character, only really old and jaded. Oh, he is the Han Solo character. So anyway, we love watching Glow. And Glow is one of those shows that ends on kind of more of a character-driven cliffhanger a little bit at the end. So you're like, oh my god, they're doing this, and then you got to watch the next one, and they're like a half hour long. So you sit there and binge watch them. We watched Weeds all the way through. And
I did. I don't know that you did.
I did. I watched it with you. I watched it up until the last one. And that one, it started out with these kind of cliffhangers that were bad, but they were sort of but it got so ridiculous in the last season. It's like every single episode, they were just absolutely irrevocably screwed at the end of every single episode. And then within the first 30 seconds of the next episode, everything came together and they're fine. You know, they're hiding somewhere. Federal agents are coming to the door, but then there's also these horrible gangsters coming in the back door, and there's nowhere for them to go, and blah, blah, blah. And then in the beginning of the next episode, they magically fall through a trapdoor and they're fine. Okay, I just made that up, but that's kind of like how it went, you know, like some Deus Machina almost saves them. By the end, I stopped kind of caring. Orange is the New Black kind of got that way. Just, I guess when you binge watch it, you get burnt out.
Yeah, no, it's the situations get beyond, like, that would never happen type of stuff. Like, it happens to an extent in prisons, but not to that ridiculous
You almost have to
extent.
think of stuff like Weeds, like it's almost like a Saturday morning cartoon for grown-ups. It gets ridiculous, but it's funny and it's fun to watch.
The thing I liked about Orange is the New Black, at least in the first couple of seasons, is the stories of how the women got in jail.
Oh, and they were doing their flashbacks.
Yeah, and then
I love
the other
stuff.
parts,
especially the Russian,
the older Russian woman.
Oh my god, she was awesome. She was like probably my favorite character on that show.
Yeah, and the last one I watched, they had kidnapped a gay guard, and it was beyond. The whole prison was on lockdown, and they had guns, and it just got too ridiculous.
Speaking of which, we need to talk about this, that you've watched every single episode of Prison Break.
You think you've mentioned that before?
I don't think I've mentioned it on the podcast before.
Oh, yes, I did, because I don't like stopping things in the middle. If I'm past a certain point, I'm in it to the end. I don't care.
You have dedication.
But I despised myself for watching that, and it was because of
you should.
You know, the first episode was fine, or the first season, it was a good idea for a story.
Prison, and it was the story of that breakout and what happened afterwards.
And then
they go to a Mexican prison and break out of that. And then they go to the Middle East
they always have to break out of
that.
places.
Like, you can only tattoo so many prison plans on a guy.
He got rid of his tattoos at one point.
Oh my god.
So
I mean, it had all of the flair of like old soap operas where somebody gets amnesia and then their identical twin comes back, and you know, just it had those kinds of just really contrived plot.
They could have made it a lot better, because the story they were on involved like conspiracy at a really high government level. That's why he was trying to break his brother out. His brother was framed for killing some politician or something, and they had different last names. So, you know, he helped build the prison, I think. So he had the plans, he put them all on his body, and, you know, it's a fine story to begin with.
Ideas,
but once they broke out, then...
I think it's like a good idea, but then the executives are like, hey, people like this show, make 2 more seasons of this, and you're like,
They made 4 seasons of it, and then a 5th, like, years later.
And they're like, I don't know what else to do with this story. Here's a big pile of money. Okay, I'll figure out something to do, you know.
What I will say, though, is Gavin Hood, I believe, created that show. He also did a show called Breakout Kings, which only had 2 seasons. That show could have gone on until, because they got a month off I'm
able to watch that show.
But they got a month off for every person who broke out of prison. It was convicts helping the police bring them back. So every time they caught a breakout person, they got a month off their sentence. They could have that show run on until their sentence
was over. That's kind of a cool countdown.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't break out. They couldn't have more episodes than they have months in their sentence. So
most of them had 25 years, I think.
Oh, so that could have gone on way, way
the
too
doctor
long.
did. He had 25 to life.
Like 25 seasons of that show are possible mathematically, but no.
At one point, one of them says, "My sentence has words, not numbers." So it was like, if I did this thing, then my sentence would have words, not numbers.
What would that be, like 25 to life or something? Or
it would be life in prison.
Life
is
without,
life without
words,
parole
life
or
without
something.
parole.
Yeah.
Words, not numbers.
Yeah, no numbers.
Oh, that's funny. The one reason I like and tolerate that show is because of
Jimmy Simpson.
I love Jimmy
His
Simpson.
character is amazing in that. He's a doctor that is in prison for 25 to life because to support his gambling habit, he'd sell prescriptions like Oxy or whatever, and he sold one to a girl and she died, and
that was his
the only reason he took the sentence and didn't make a deal is so he didn't have to look the parents in the eye.
Wow.
He says that in an episode.
But he's the character too because he's a doctor. He gets to be sort of the know-it-all and have all these facts.
He's a psychologist. He's like and he was like he graduated college at 20 or 18 years old or something.
Like Freakonomics, and I just like him in anything he's in. So Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he's like one of these perverted, incestuous, weird people.
Malcolm Goodwin is also in it, and I think the show ended. He was the police detective on iZombie. Gangster, and he's really good. He plays his part amazingly because
I don't make these connections right away when I see this.
Serena Swan is also in it, a beautiful, beautiful woman who had the unfortunate job to play Medusa in The Inhumans.
that was a bad show.
But Breakout Kings is 2 seasons,
Inhumans,
totally worth checking out. It's on Hulu right now.
We actually went to the theater and went to a screening of the first 2 episodes in a theater.
Paid for it.
Did we pay for that?
Yeah, we didn't get that for free.
We didn't get it for free. We actually paid money to go see the first
hot, though.
2 episodes. It did get us out of the heat.
It was over 100 degrees.
We went and saw the Inhumans premiere.
In IMAX.
In IMAX. In IMAX.
That's paid extra for that.
And then we started watching like a couple more episodes, and it's like
I thought she'd grow her hair back. I watched all those episodes. The coolest
thing about Marvel's Inhumans, literally, the coolest thing about that comic, about all of them, is her hair. Mm-hmm. Medusa's hair was awesome. It was like, I couldn't wait to see her, like, throwing people around with her hair and shit.
Cut it off in the...
Like, we keep waiting for her to grow her hair back. No, she never grows her hair back. Like, you didn't have the budget for her hair. Don't make the Inhumans, man. It'd be like having a show about Spider-Man and he doesn't have any webs.
Yeah. Plus, they're total dicks, too. And that's the only thing that kind of I was, like, okay with is at the end they actually admit that they are assholes, but classists.
Definitely, it's like, well, these people belong. They're born this way. They belong working underground, and we belong to be raw. And it's like immediately you hate the heroes. So it's
supposed heroes, yeah.
Yeah, like why am I even watching? Who is this for? Why am I watching this?
But at the end, I know you didn't watch all of it, but they admit that they are assholes.
That's a kind of a character arc that you need to have happen right away. You can't hate them for that long and stick around. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to stick around for that long. Okay, so, wow, we covered Inhumans, Glow, and Breakout Kings.
Yeah. And I'm good with what we said about Glow, because we need to watch the full second season. I need to figure it out more. That episode got sad because there's also a story where the stunt woman and teaches them how to wrestle and fight. She gets a job on a TV show as a lead, and then you don't see her again until like the 3rd or 4th episode of season 2, and they are trying to make her as white as they can make her. And
like they straighten
really
out her
sad.
Hair, and she's sad that she's losing her
she just isn't a good actress though, and she needs that manager to tell her that, Right.
She can't. The good news is she's going to come back to Glow and be a wrestler again, so that's good. I liked her character.
Yeah, but that was a sad one to like kind of stop watching.
Yeah, that was the other thing that's perfect social commentary. That if somebody looks too black, that's a problem.
Yeah, no, that really made me feel bad because I know that stuff that happened in real life to black women, and like, what were they going to say? No, that was their job.
So anyway, yeah, this is a fun show today. Ooh, that's why you didn't want to talk about Glow. Yeah, you were sad about that episode. So let's talk about something more happy. Let's talk about something less depressing. The how Ant-Man and the Wasp addresses chronic pain. Okay, let me tell you this first. Okay, I watched it first before
I did.
You did. I watched it before you did. I watched it Thursday night, and then you watched it Friday. And Thursday night, when I'm watching it, it's like she's saying, I'm in pain all the time. You guys don't understand. And I'm like going, oh my God, this is going to make Jamie sad because I know that you've dealt with like one kind or other of chronic pain, whether it's like headaches or fibromyalgia, like joint pain or back pain. So, and you've even said those words, and I'm watching this, I'm like going, oh my God, this is going to make Jamie sad. And I knew it like immediately just hurt my heart to watch it,
Yeah.
And so then you watched it. I kind of waited to see what you would say about that character, and sure enough,
I had dreams about it, like being in pain that night.
It touched on something you just don't see in superhero movies. I loved her character. I really liked her character. I liked how she was.
If they didn't make her disabled with that, I would have been okay. But she was a bad guy because she was in pain, and all she wanted was a cure to her pain. And they could have helped her. Hank Pym could have helped her,
and like they would have helped her. And I was expecting them to kind of team up sooner.
Yeah.
That would have been cooler. Like when she's chasing him on the motorcycle, I was waiting for them to be like, hey, Ghost, get in, we need to help you. We need you to help us with these buttholes chasing us because they want the lab
Hank
for themselves.
Pym he's so protective of his inventions that he wasn't having any of that. And
right. By that time, they should have like already been teamed up. But I loved that movie for a lot of reasons.
It was really good. I won't say it was so bad. Many funny parts. That just really resonated with me.
Luis, when they went into where he's talking and he's telling the story, and he's like, "Oh man, I was blah blah blah," and then he said, I got to know him. I said, "Hey, we're friends now."
Then they said they argued about the truth serum for.
Oh my God, that's true. That was the best. There's no such thing as truth serum. But so, what does it do? Well, it makes you so you tell the truth. So it's truth serum. There's no such thing as truth serum. No, man, I think that's truth serum. He gets excited. He's like, I'm going to get truth serum? I always wanted to try that.
And when he starts talking at first, they ask him, but he goes, how he goes way back before what they ever want to hear.
Yes.
And they're like, no, you put a dime in the jukebox, you got to let the record play,
man. Let the whole record play. If you ask him the whole a question, he's going to go back to the beginning of his life and tell his whole story up to that question. He's like, I'm getting to that. I'm just getting to that part. And he'll never, ever actually get to it, probably. And then you give him truth serum. He's going to just tell you, like, for sure tell you his whole life, not leave any details out.
And T.I. that says that. You put the dime in the jukebox, you got to let the record play, man.
Oh, and the part where he talks about this, like, I guess Russian or something myth about and they play this like gypsy sounding music, and then they go back and he says the word again and they play the little music again. It's like that part.
I forgot the word he used. It was like a Russian witch or something.
Yeah, like weird instrument music.
Yeah, no, they did really good. It's
good gypsy sounding music, and it gets all mysterious and even a little darker when he starts talking, and then they go back.
I knew what was going to happen at the end, but I was still happy that I saw it. Like, that made me happy because it's right as Infinity War's happening, so one of them is going to disintegrate at least.
Well, he is going into the quantum realm at the end.
Microverse.
She's going to, they need to call it microverse. He's going into the quantum realm at the end, and he's trying to harvest this quantum energy and bring it back, and he's in the quantum realm. Right then just happens to be when Iron Man and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are fighting on that Titan's homeworld and on Thanos' homeworld. And Thanos snaps his fingers when he's in the quantum realm. And I'm thinking, when he's in the quantum realm, he somehow that's
protected him.
That's a get out of Thanos free place.
Yeah, but then he's stuck in the quantum realm.
But it's like he takes out half the people in the whole universe, but not in the quantum realm. I didn't expect everybody but him in that scene to just be...
No, I thought he might be one that disintegrated. I didn't know who. I knew at least him or Wasp would. And people were saying, nobody wants Evangeline Lilly to die. I was pretty sure she would. I thought they might both. I didn't know how integral Ant-Man was, but I did know that the microverse or quantum realm is a reason that they're going to stop Thanos in the next movie. I know that.
You know, it needs 10 times more Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Love me some Michelle Pfeiffer. She
was not in that movie hardly at all.
No, but she's always good when she is in the movie. And like,
she disintegrated too, though, right?
Yeah. There's one part where she's talking about. She sends him a mental message where he sees through her eyes.
She puts an antenna in his head. Is how they explain it.
And he sees through her eyes when they're playing hide and seek with her daughter. When Hope's a little girl, and Hope's like, "Where was I hiding?"
The wardrobe.
The wardrobe.
No, it was like
no, it was a cupboard where there's clothes in it. Yeah, a wardrobe.
A wardrobe.
Wardrobe. He's like, that's where I hid every time we played hide and seek, and it's all like emotional. It's like you didn't have a very good grasp of that game.
Yeah,
like that's the first thing he comes up with, and they do that. Like I love the writing and the dialogue in Ant-Man, both of the Ant-Man movies, because they just they have these just little unexpected little quips that come out that are fun and refreshing, and I liked the movie overall. I mean,
overall, I did.
It was not better than Deadpool.
It was better than Ant-Man, but at the same time, it Hank Pym seems like kind of an ass.
And I think he's supposed to be. He's kind of crumdungery.
Yeah, curmudgeon-y.
Crumdungery. I don't know what the word is. Curmudgeon.
He was a curmudgeon.
Whatever. He's old and grumpy and, get off my lawn.
Yeah, he's super protective of...
Set in his ways and, yeah.
But it's he doesn't want to give up his property is what he's super protective of his property, and if he was just a little bit better, then the whole disability scenario would be better.
Okay, they're in the van, and he's in the quantum realm inside that lab, and that lab is small inside the van, and then the van gets bigger, and then the van gets smaller, so he's in the quantum realm and then smaller?
That confused me how, so if you're in the van... So
did that make the quantum realm smaller in the van?
What confused me is, when they're driving in the van and then it shrunk, so you don't need a suit to shrink when you're in a vehicle. That kind of bothered me a little bit.
The van was one of those little cars that was those Matchbox cars, so it had a shrinker built into the
So you didn't need a suit to...
No.
Okay.
The van had its own shrinker.
Okay.
It had a big handle on it. You could make it shrink.
It seemed like it would shrink the car, but not the people, is what I felt.
Yeah, they shrinks whatever's in its...
That was weird to me.
And the building that was inside there. So it's like, he's in there, and he's in the quantum realm, and then that made... But the quantum realm... But when he was in the quantum realm, in order to get out, the building had to be full size.
Yes.
You couldn't get out of the quantum realm and still be kind of small inside that building.
Hannah John Kamen, who played Ava, was wonderful. She was a great actress, and she made me very sad. I just wish they wouldn't have made her be so evil about it, because being somebody that suffers with horrific pain, I have pain every day, but when it's at its worst, I don't want a cure. I just want to be out of as much pain as I can be.
Yeah.
To the point where I would rather die than look for a miracle cure that doesn't exist.
Right. She was trained by the government to be a fighter too, so there's
through that pain,
but I think she didn't have that pain as much at the time. It's she deteriorated and now she's in this state like that. But you know what else she was in? She was in Ready Player One. She was
Which I didn't see.
She was like the evil assassin person in Ready Player One. She was like the henchman of the bad guy who she kicked ass in Ready Player One. She was a fighter of that. But she was also in my second favorite Black Mirror episode besides San Junipero, 15 Million Credits. She was like the love interest.
I don't watch that either.
You should watch 15 Million Credits. If you're going to see one more, that's the one to see. Okay, so we ordered food online, we ordered groceries. One of the things we got was 2 Brussels sprouts.
It asked me how many I wanted. I thought I said 2. I thought I meant 2 pounds, not...
You would think that. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, it meant 2 Brussels sprouts. So we've got this one bag
I have to get
that
more
looks
Brussels.
like a scrotum. because it's just got 2 Brussels sprouts in it. So I can't wait for that dinner.
I'm going to get more.
We each get a quarter Brussels sprout.
A half. We'd each get a half.
See how good my math is right now? It's so awesome. 2 Brussels sprouts. We'd each get a quarter. What am I saving up for two dinners with the 2 Brussels sprouts? There's 4 of us.
And they're not giant ones either. They're just regular sized Brussels.
But it is pretty cool just to be home. Like, our son came out of the room and is like, when did you guys go get groceries? Well, we did it 2 hours ago. We did it in the bedroom online. So, yeah. That's how lazy we become. The first time they don't charge you. It's just like a drug deal.
I think it's like $20 to have it delivered, I want to say. Which means next time their tip would be a lot less.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally worth it. It's worth it just to like...
It's worth it if you buy a bunch of groceries at once.
Other thing I noticed is I got a bunch of texts immediately saying, they don't have this, they don't have that, so I'm replacing it with this. Is that okay? I'm replacing it with that. Is that okay? And if you don't say that you approve or not, they just get it. So...
nothing was... The only thing I didn't like was, I think we got white potatoes instead of gold potatoes, but it's not the end of the world. I can make something with those for sure.
It's the end of the world. All right.
Everything else switch was fine.
I don't know why I might include this, but what the heck?
Please don't. Why? Stupid ass thing to talk about.
Married with TV, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, hey, I think we're done. I think we've got a lot of material here, and it's going to be fun. Thank you guys for listening.
Yes, thank you. This is Jamie.
And this is Shannon. All right. Bye, guys.